Day 11, Panama against England. A first ever meeting between the nations had been highly anticipated. For England, the nation expected. For Panama, they certainly weren't expected to cause any problems for an England team in their quest for qualification. Robust, physical and defensive, Panama were expected to play it tight with patience required from England. The Panama team remained unchanged from the side that lost gallantly 3-0 against Belgium. For England, there was to be one change, Loftus-Cheek coming in for Dele Alli, who had a thigh strain. To the game, Lingard was to feel the physicality of Panama, an elbow deemed without malice, sending him to the ground and in need of attention. A warning for England. Early, within half chance for Panama's to shock England. Barcenas, with the effort, sent wildly over. They were made to pay on 8 minutes. John Stones, unmarked, breaking away from the melee, the elbowing and grabbing to hammer a fantastic header low into the corner. Pineda giving little chance. A blow for Panama, who'd see Cooper booked for scything down Lingard from behind. Barcenas looked to curl an equaliser, a fine strike, attempting to bend the ball into the far corner, top corner. Panama, with the support of the locals, of the neutrals, were looking somewhat more adventurous than in the game against Belgium. Then a third assault, infringement on Lingard, was to result in a penalty award. It was Escobar and Torres coming in from behind with a push from Escobar, sending Lingard to the ground. Kane, with a chance of a fifth successive goal, emphatically blasted his effort high into the top corner of the net. A good spell of possession followed for Panama as England took a step back, passing, moving, control, but evidently lacked the final quality in the very important places. Lingard, with a beautifully curled effort into the left-hand corner, scored the goal of the game, this after a 1-2 with Sterling. Pineda, once again, left with no chance at all. England was certainly running right now, as Panama were all over the place. And they were totally undone by a training ground exercise, with John Stones coming in once after Sterling had been denied to head high into the net. Then, once again, naive defending with several warnings, and they were unheeded, and Kane was wrestled to the ground, and a second penalty award to England, with Kane equally emphatic from the spot and burying it, his penalty for an emphatic 5-0 scoreline. It was the first time an England player had scored 4 goals at the group stage. So yeah, and it was, the second half started rather, in comparison to the first, rather subdued. There's lots of possession, passing and movement without pace and intensity of the first half. The fans in the stands responded accordingly, taking 10 minutes before they found their voices. Then, by way of deflection, something he knew nothing about, Harry Kane was to complete his hat-trick, scoring his 18th goal in 26 games. Loftus-Cheek drove the ball into the area, and the ball just spun off the heel of Kane and wrong-footed the keeper, and England were leading 6-0. Moments later, he left to a standing ovation, as did Lingard, just as impressive today. Pickford out nice and sharp, was to deny Panama in one of their best moves. Mourinho, seeing his run for glory halted. One thing Panama were leading the stakes in was in the bookings. This game, 3 following on their 5 they acquired against Belgium. Henderson then crashed a thunderous volley that just wide of the post. He seemed very disappointed. Torres then should have scored Panama's first goal ever at the tournament as England switched off. Coming in unmarked, he side-footed woefully wide. But then, a few minutes later, the biggest cheer was reserved for Boloi, something for the country to savour as from the free kick, he was able to slide Panama's first ever goal and past Pickford. Very disappointing for the England team. Sterling then attempted to curl his first England goal since October 2015, his effort to fly wide of the intended target. He'd scored only 2 goals in 39 games. Panama kept going, the fans kept making noise in a much improved second half in terms of the indiscipline of the first half and all the punches, kicking and all the violent altercations. For England, it was about self-preservation, and it had only been the 3rd time that an England team had reached the knockout stage after 2 games. They marched on as Panama were banished from the tournament.